Hello everybody. So I figured I would like to make a video showing what the new MacBook Pros are capable of when working with Logic Pro in a real-life scenario. All that you hear and see is really just the MacBook stuff. So the camera is the FaceTime camera. The audio is from the MacBook microphone. It is a bit processed with Nectar from Isotope within OBS. I'm recording with OBS, and yeah, just a bit of compression and EQ, gate and limiting so that we get up to level, but nothing crazy. So yeah, let's dive right into the session. So first off, the MacBook is running on the new OS. It's a 14-inch MacBook Pro with the M1 Pro chip, 32 GB of RAM and 1 TB of SSD storage. Logic is running through Rosetta and I'm running at 32 samples. The core threads are on automatic, which seems to work better for some reason. Something that is a bit strange, when I have OBS running and I'm running the session, I'm able to run the session at 32 samples. And once I quit OBS, which I can't show you, then I have to put the buffer size up to 256 samples, because I don't know. Well, one or two of the cores are almost maxed out, whilst the other cores are fairly low whenever I quit OBS. And when OBS is running, everything is fairly well balanced, the core utilization. So, as I mentioned, I run Logic through Rosetta because not all the plugins are built for the M1 chip yet. I guess that will maybe go half a year or so until everything will be ready. For now, I'm running through Rosetta and everything worked. I have quite a few plugins that accumulated over the years. All the Wave stuff is no problem. Slate works well. The All Access Pass works well. There was a problem with the lustrous plates and repeater. The customer service at D16 Audio Group for repeater, they were really helpful, and also at Slate Digital, so they helped me get everything to work. And Isotope, the old Inside plugin didn't work. Inside 1 did not work, so I had to upgrade on Inside 2. But I think that's the only stuff that didn't work right from the start, and everything else just was no worry to install and get it to run. So this is from the plugin perspective and the new OS. And then the way I built the session, this is the way I always build sessions usually. So I have the different microphones that are bussed to a group, then here of course as well to a group, and the toms, etc. And those buses are then bussed to a bigger bus which is now the drum set bus. Then we have bass and drums that are bussed together to this so-called rhythm bus, which is over here. This is all rhythm. Then here we have all the music. It's electric guitars, acoustic guitars, and also grand piano that was recorded with 3 stereo sets of microphones. So they all go to the all music bus. Then we have everything that is orchestra. We have programmed orchestras. So maybe have a quick look at those. These are sample instruments for one part, and the big band, which goes also to the all orchestra bus, they were all recorded live. So as I don't have the sounds installed, they are all freezed. We would have been better off just bouncing then in the sounds in place, but yeah, it was still freezed from the producer's MacBook when I got the session, and I had no reason to unfreeze since I then worked the stuff on the bus. So Logic is in this scenario not handling sounds, it's really just handling audio, which is important to know. So anyway, we have those that go to the all orchestra bus, then we have everything, the vocals, backing vocals, and also the choir that was tracked 3 times, I guess, or 4 times even, 4 voices probably, I don't remember perfectly. So they go to the all vocals bus, and then we also have the all effects bus, which is home to the synths. So, and those go all to the mix down bus, which, yeah, is the master preview or whatever we want to call it, and this goes to the stereo, which serves as my metering bus. So let's have a quick look what this session, which has about 200 tracks, feels like. So, hopla. Maybe start where we're gonna start. Yeah, about here. So I guess audio starts here. Yeah.
I see beauty in the sky. It gets me dancing in the wild. I see ripples in the sea. All the creatures running free. I hear music in the rain. It makes all my sorrows strain. I feel like a blessed man. Yes, I am a blessed man. I see blossom in the field.
So, what I wanted to show you how smooth and easy all the GUI stuff is, even when playing back. And let's see the CPU again.
So creative.
Well, for me that's insane. It's the session with 200 tracks, everything processed, everything bussed together the way you would in a real life scenario, even a bit of mastering going on, and it's running at barely 30-40% of CPU utilization. That's just mind-blowing to me, really. And everything still feels smooth. I didn't realize anything from the metering that wasn't correct. Also within the session, well, the tracks view, this is really amazing to me. So one thing I wanted to show you is when I'm inserting plugins whilst playing back. The delay compensation was sometimes a bit chunky on the old MacBook, and here this is just loaded in an instance, which is really cool.
I hear echoes in the mountains, feeling joy in its fountains. All the forest trees I smell, how they're crafted oh so well. I feel like a blessed man. Yes, I am a blessed man. Oh, behold, when my soul gets weary and dry, let me see the beauty in the skies. All the questions that are shy, why we live and why we die, come and go in the blink of an eye. Even when we laugh and when we cry.
For me, that's really a pleasure to work if everything feels so stable, and this is just awesome. So what else? I would like to show a quick silly stress test on the big band. So let's just play back and load up a bunch of vinyl plugins which are quite CPU hungry. It's about 25 tracks, so let's see how many we're gonna be able to load in. Come on, that's the first time.
On the river, oh, my soul begins to shiver when my heart will be delivered by the hope that has been given. Oh, now the flowers I perceive come as a joy like a breeze.
Now we've got it. That's just insane, and it's still somehow managed to not just completely freeze and break down, which is just crazy. I mean, this is about 100 instances of the vinyl plugin, and it still worked. It didn't bug or anything, it didn't lag whilst loading in everything. Delay compensation was smooth. This is, for me, that's really remarkable. So now you may hear the fans kick in, but I mean, we maxed out the CPU, and we're even running OBS in the background. The fan noise will drop fairly quickly as soon as those plugins are removed again. Maybe the heat of the laptop, it's about, yeah, let's say, I guess I am warmer than the MacBook. Yeah, or maybe the same. Something between 30 and 35 degrees, I guess. Which is also very cool. I mean, the old MacBook I had, I couldn't work with it whilst holding in it on my lap because it was just too hot. And this is no problem at all. This is really, yeah, it's not hot. It's just a bit warm, which is really cool. The MacBook speakers are okay. They have remarkable lower mid-range and low end, actually. But for me it's just a bit too much. It's a bit boomy and hefty down in the low mids, which still a small chassis, and I think it can't handle it the way I would like it to handle. So I would prefer the low end not to be as blown up, but rather to be more precise and maybe a bit quieter. So for me, the speakers are remarkable and they are great, but from a studio user's perspective, it's just a bit too much in the low mid-range and the low end. It is somehow some sort of low end, but yeah, maybe just a bit overdone. It feels a bit like the Atom speakers somehow. The S3 series, for instance, the horizontal ones, they go down at, say, 40 hertz, but it sounds like the speaker would like to go down at 20 hertz, but since it can't reach 20 hertz, it just makes a bump at, say, 50, 60 hertz. It feels like a massive low end, but it's not quite precise, and the same happens here. So they would like to go down to 60 hertz, which they somehow do, but actually not quite. So they exaggerate in the lower mid-range at, say, between 80 and 120 hertz. This is just too much energy to somehow make up for what they would actually like to show down at 60 hertz. But this is just a very small complaint. The stereo imaging, especially in the vocal range, is cool, really. When you sit straight in front of the MacBook, you hear a sound stage, you have some sort of stereo image, and you have also a bit of depth, which I think is really neat, just to see your mix from a different perspective. But the mid-range, I don't quite like it. Well, the lower mid-range and the bass, the low end, I don't quite like it, but I mean, don't have to. Works great for what it is for. And yeah, when you listen to mastered music and especially film, it is actually cool. It's a cool experience on these speakers, just not for critical listening down in the low end. So, which is really obvious, but since the MacBook speakers get so good over time, I think it's worth mentioning them from a studio user's perspective. So as you can hear, the fan noise has dropped, and I can still hear a slight bit of fan noise, but almost nothing. And I think this is it. This is everything I wanted to show you. Hope it helped, and yeah, maybe till next time, and have a great day. Bye.